In this lecture, I will show you how to set up processing on your computer and demonstrate some of the features of its development environment. As you will see, setup is very simple and quick. As an Arduino maker, you will find the Processing IDE very similar to the Arduino IDE. You can use it to easily install libraries, play with examples, run and debug sketches. The programming language itself is also familiar to anyone that has worked with the Arduino. In this lecture, I will walk you through these aspects of processing as well as some of the online resources that are available. Let's get a closer look. Hi, welcome back. In this lecture, we'll download and install processing on a Mac. The process is very similar, of course, on Windows computers. But after we complete the processing installation, I'll just do a quick walk through the Processing IDE and show you a few basic demos that ship with the software. So to download processing, just go to the home page and click on Download Processing. And then consider doing a donation to the project. It's really worth it. I've already done that, so I'm going to move to the next step and download the installer. Choose your platform. I'll go for Mac OS X. And a while later, I've got the software on my computer. Here's something I did earlier. All right, on the Mac at least, once you expand the archive with the application, all you've got to do is to copy this and drag it into the applications folder. So you paste it in here. And at the end, you've got your processing application file in your applications folder. So let's start it. I'll open up processing. And right from the beginning, just notice the similarity between the processing sketch window, and I'll bring up Arduino as well, put them side by side. And make an empty Arduino sketch. So very similar type of layout. You've got your console down the bottom where output messages come from the sketch, and then you've got the canvas. You've got a play button for each one. In the case of processing, you've got a stop button. Processing can have interpreters in language other than Java, so you can have an interpreter in Python, for example. If it's installed, it will be available here. You can have other modes like Android, Python, and REPL, and so on. You can install more than these, and all those implement processing in different languages. While I'm in the contribution manager, you can see that we've got a libraries tab, which allow you to install all the libraries that we saw in the libraries page on the processing website earlier. We already have the Arduino FilmArta library installed, but let's say that we wanted leap motion. Okay, this is how we would go about installing it. Just search for it, then install it, and you'll be able to interact with your leap motion device. So let that finish. And that's installed. You've got tools. A GUI builder, for example, allows you to create user interfaces, and a lot of examples from different sources. But the language ships with a lot of built-in examples that we'll play in a moment with. And it's also a monitor for updates. All right, so that's a contribution manager. This button here is a debugger. So it allows you to do things like monitor and change the values of variables as the program is executing. So a very useful feature that the Arduino IDE doesn't have. So we've got access to a debugger. The IDE is fairly simple, there's not much to say other than that. Let's go and pick on an example. So I go to the file menu that you can't see unfortunately, but click on the file menu and then there's examples. So the examples option will bring up the Java examples window, which contains a lot of example processing programs. So it shows you, for example, how to play around with arrays. So pick that, and you can see that in this processing program we can declare an array just like this. Remember, this is C++. It's exactly the same language that we use with the Arduino, just optimized for graphics and for running on the desktop instead of an embedded device. This is how you create your canvas and the dimensions of the canvas, initialize the array with an array that contains floats, and you've got as many floats, as many cells as the width of the window. So this is the width, 360. And I'm not going to go through it since this is not really in the topic of this lecture, but I will execute it and see what this does out of curiosity. So this processing program generates these black and white patterns in its canvas. Interesting. Let's pick another one. Let's do something with colors. Yeah, all right. Let's choose linear gradient and see what this does. Started right from the beginning to get an idea of this functionality. Right, so we've got a background with a black and white gradient, and we've got two bars with orange blue gradients, one changing from horizontally and the other one changing vertically. And how do they do that? You define the colors at the extremity. So this one would be white and 0 is black, and then this is RGB values for either orange or blue, I'm not sure, and this is the RGB sort of values for orange or blue again. And no loop means that the draw function will be called only once, and then inside the draw function we create the gradients, and there's the gradients are functions apparently. So you have the coordinates, the colors for the gradient, and you calculate the gradients and how colors change from the beginning color to the end color. If you want to know what, say for example, the map function does, then you can go to the processing website and go to reference and search for, in this case, map. And we're looking for the map function. And the map function is basically the same map function as in the Arduino language. So it maps a number from one range into another. So the example that we've got here shows you that we get a value which is in the range of 0 to 100, and then we remap it to be a new value, in an equivalent value in the range of -20 to -10. So keep the reference page handy when you are working with processing, and you'll be able to very quickly look up keywords that you're not familiar with. There's another one, lerp color. I wonder what that is. So let's check it out. So lerp color calculates a color or colors between two color or colors at a specific increment. Right. So we give it two colors, like here. There's a from color and a to color, and then lerp color will calculate a new color at 0.33 increment between the from and the to color. So ideal instruction to use when you're trying to calculate gradients, for example. All right, I'll pick one more example and then move on. Right, how about, let's pick up a graphics demo, maybe something that does maybe some animation. Let's see, wiggling looks like interesting. So try that. There you go. So this cube with the holes in it and void inside is calculated in real time, called wiggling. Okay. So if you are inclined in creating graphics, you are the artistic type, then I think you're really going to like processing, because it does make it very, I wouldn't say easy, but very efficient to create really interesting, powerful graphical representations. Awesome. That's all for now in regards to a quick introduction of processing and playing around with some of the demos. I'd like to move on to the next lecture now, where I will demonstrate using the processing language with the firmATA protocol and the Arduino. And we'll use firmATA to control the Arduino's GPIOs.